All right, so thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us. So yeah, I will introduce my dog because so that's my guide dog. We were just talking about dogs previously. So
Yes.
her name is Toadette. She's 3.5, and that's my second guide dog.
Jā, un mēs jau jūsu sunu šķiet labi daudzi pazīst, vai ne? Elfa jau viens no tādiem Latvijas populārākajiem suņiem, man šķiet, vai ne? Vai...
Yes, almost everyone knows Alpha, but she's 11 years old, and she's with me almost 9 years, yeah. So you can imagine we have widespread experience.
So we're very happy to see you today on the stage, and let's start with questions. So what helps you feel comfortable, understood and respected at cultural events? What creates a sense that you are truly welcome? This is a question for you both. Who's going to start? Okay.
I think I feel the most special when I'm not special. And because if I can go to a cultural event and nobody makes anything special out of that, then I feel the best. Because that means that places are welcoming, and they are inclusive. Because if we speak about inclusion and integration, those are two different terms.
So it's about, what about you? What creates for you a sense that you are truly, truly welcome?
Yeah, it's the same when I arrive somewhere in a museum or in a concert hall, and when there is no issue, for instance, with my dog, the people are aware about what is a service dog, which is not the case everywhere. And but it's also a full experience from the website. For instance, when I'm trying to book the tickets on the website, some websites are not compatible with the screen readers and the tool I'm using, and so that's not accessible. So I feel comfortable when everything is accessible from end to end. So starting on the website, and then when you arrive in the sites, and the people are aware and so well trained on the disabilities. And of course, after, this is the question of the accessibility of the content. So it's very dependent on the content. When it's a visual, when it's a theater, or when it's a visual art, for blind people like myself or low vision people, we'll need some audio description, or sometimes some tactile representation of the arts. So okay, it's not always available, but when this is available, it's very, very comfortable. I have one example. I went for another project in Brazil 1 month ago, and we went to the Biennale for contemporary art, and it was very, very inclusive, because we went there and we didn't took any appointment, but someone was there and proposed us to guide me. I was with a friend and he's low vision as well, and it was very, very inclusive, and I was very impressed by that. And I found in São Paulo as well some other very impressive tactile adaptations. I was not expecting that in Brazil, but sometimes you can have some very interesting surprise.
Yeah, but your work in accessibility takes place on an international level. Please tell us what are your main responsibilities? Where does most of your time and energy go?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Bourges 28 European Capital of Culture. So we'll be European Capital of Culture just after Lipaia. We are 4 people here. I'm here with Louise, Pascal, and Christophe. We are very happy to be here to share ideas and to discover all what you are doing, and I'm very honored to be here and to be part of this conference. And I think it's great that Lipaia team is organizing a conference, a full day dedicated to inclusion and accessibility. That's very impressive, and that's great. And what I'm doing in the Bourges team, so just for you to know, Bourges, it's a team, a town in France. I'm sure you recognize my accent, but it's a small town not small, medium town in the middle of France, so 2 hours away from Paris in the south. So somewhere in the countryside, in a very nice region, and we have a historical city and a lot of projects for 28. And my role is to make sure that we are the most accessible and the more inclusive possible in 28 for the public, for all the visitors, but also, it's a very transversal topic, and I'm very happy to start now this. So I started 1 year ago, so 3 years in advance.
Baiba, today you are with Alpha, as we see, and as we mentioned earlier, that she's really one of the best-known dogs in Latvia. So how could you explain what is the role of an assistance dog at cultural events? I was thinking that always when I see Alpha, I want to touch her, but I know, because I know that I can't do this. Even now, when I'm sitting next to Thibaut, I also want to touch, but I know that I can't do this because they are on their work. So do you think that if you are talking about cultural events, do you think more public awareness is still needed in this area?
For the shame, yes. It's still needed, but it also can be explained by so few service dogs. In Latvia, we have like 14 service dogs, so it's not so many. So it's okay not to know. It's okay not to be aware, but it's not okay to have a bad attitude about that. If you don't know, you can ask, right? And I had experience when the guard comes to me when I went to the concert. Then the guard came to me and he said that it's not allowed with the dogs here. But then I explained, and I already know also the rules by their number, right? Number 959.30.5, right? That dogs can be everywhere, service dogs. And when I explained that, then he said, okay, that's totally understandable, and that's perfect attitude, right? When you don't know, but you get to know, and then you have great respectful. Because the worst is when there's disrespect because of the dog. Because I have had also that experience for the shame. Not lately. Lately we are becoming more and more aware. But when we just started before 9 years, live and work together, then it was a fight. But you asked about the role of the service dog in a cultural event. First of all, she snores, right? She's snoring.
Yes, she snores. We can hear it.
She snores now.
So it means that it is actually like Timur's told. It's like a safe place.
Yeah, she feels safe, and you all look safe, right? You act safe, but yeah, she always snores when I speak. So that's not a compliment, of course, no. But her role is the same as wherever we would go, right? She helps me to take off my coat. Somebody saw her even today taking off my coat, picking up the things. If I drop something, she helps me to be independent also in the concert or theater or wherever. So the independence is the answer, right? And even if I come with somebody else, with the person, if I have a dog, I'm more independent, and those relationships with the person can be different. They are not my helper, they are my friend. My helper is my dog.
Yes, it's a very important message about, if you are talking about your dog, then you said that Elfa started living with you when she was like 2.5, right?
Yeah. Around 2, yeah.
Yeah, so it means that she was trained that time before she started living with you, right?
No. She grew up till 1 year with the foster family, and then she started to be trained, and was trained for 2 years because she's the first service dog, assistant dog in Latvia. Because of that, she was learning, trainer was learning, and I was learning. So we all were learning together. And then after those 2 years, so at age 3, she came to live with me.
So Thibaut, if we are talking about like cultural events, from your perspective, what are the key aspects of the event planning process that organizers should consider in terms of accessibility? Is there a stage that often gets overlooked?
All right, that's a very interesting question. I will try to make it short, but I think what is one of the most important points is to anticipate the most we can, the accessibility of the building. So sometimes when you have some venues that are very old, it's not very easy, this part, but we can work on some aspect. And for instance, in Bourges, we have some very old monuments, and we are working on some works, to adapt those monuments with some elevators, with some ramps. But it's not only about wheelchairs; it's also about accessibility for, autistic people with some communication, some signalétic, also for blind or deaf. You have all tools, many tools that you can put in place on the building. Another important aspect is access to the website and the application, digital accessibility. We are not talking a lot about this topic because it's not something you can see, like a ramp or an elevator, but it's also very, very important because today, you are just doing everything digital. So that's also something very important to anticipate. And for those two cases, physical or digital accessibility, it was mentioned earlier this morning. At the earliest, you can take this into consideration, the better it is and the less cost it will be, because it will be implemented from the beginning. So it's very native accessibility or universal accessibility. So that's very, very important. And I think the second point is to involve the users, to involve the people that are directly disabled, that have specific needs from the beginning, to get their feedback, to make some tests with them, and to improve what you are proposing in terms of accessibility. So that's what we did in Bourges. When I started 1 year ago, I started to have a small group of associations from the city and from the surroundings. This group is approximately 20 persons, and half of them have any specific needs or disability. And I have some meeting with them, to test what we are expecting to do and to co-build, to co-design and co-build together Bourges 28. And what we started to do a couple of months ago and on a regular basis is just to, walk in the street of Bourges and to anticipate what will be the good path to walk for the capital city for the year in 28. And we are doing those walks with the people that have wheelchair, that have some cane, that are, specific needs to go around in the city and with the city services. So they can see where are the issues, how we can planify the works to improve the accessibility of the sidewalks, or this is starting by this, and last, we are working on the cultural program is starting to be fine-tuned, and I will work with the artistic commissioners and the artists and some specific suppliers to adapt also the content. Because it's good to be able to book the ticket on the website. It's good to be able to come and to go around in the street and in the access to the buildings. But then the question is the access to the contents. So how we can make some interesting features and tools in place to make sure that the content is adapted, for all kind of needs. So I told about audio description, sign language. Simplified language for some specific needs, and so on. And last, we will train our volunteer, of course, and all the people that will work in Bourges 28 on how to propose your help, or how to deal with some specific people with specific needs, and we will try as well to develop with Bourges 28 a center of expertise and on accessibility to the culture. So we are starting some meetings, and we'd like to do this each year until 28 and even after 28.
Yes, Barbara, you wanted to admit something?
Yeah, I wanted to add also that it's important to say honestly if the accessibility is not there. If something is not there, then honesty about that helps also people. Because I have encountered theater which on its website they said we don't have that, but we have that, and that helps me to make a rare decision. If I want to go or not. But if there is complete accessibility, but I arrive and there's not, it makes me more disappointed than if I don't go there. And one more, we need to speak about two sides of accessibility, from the side of recipient of the cultural content, and from the side of creator of the content, because there are artists with disabilities, and can they perform at our places, or can they get on the stage? I'm happy I can get on the stage here. I hope it's not only for this event. But if I may be honest, I don't know how I will get down, because the ramp is a bit too steep. And that brings up one more point. Do we create accessibility when the person with the disability can get in and get around with the help, or they can get by themselves? Because I will not be able to get down by myself. Otherwise I would make extra performance for you, because I would go down and I would fall out of my wheelchair, and you can just only imagine. Yeah.
So it's a very important message actually to see closer and to do something when you see something is like wrong, and when you talk and tell what is not wrong, right? Yeah. Yes, and so then we need like society who can react after that.
Who is coming to dialogue?
Yeah,
right. Because I'm not blaming. Maybe you didn't know about that, Ram, and that's okay. Not to know. We will listen about that more. But when I say, and if I would come after a year, for example, to speak, and again there would be the same Ram, then that would be a shame. Then I would understand that you don't listen. You don't listen at me. Now you are snoring like Alpha.
So unfortunately our discussion is coming to the end, but I have a question for you both. So organizers often say we want to be more accessible, but we are afraid of making mistakes. We don't know how or what to ask. And what advice you would give to help reduce this uncertainty and fear? What would you say to those who think that they are afraid of mistakes?
Yeah, I think there is a lack of knowledge around accessibility, and some days like this one can really help to close the gap. So that's great. So important to have some knowledge transfer and share expertise at a European and international level, that's for sure, because many good ideas are not applicable only here in this country, but in many countries the needs are the same, and we can easily translate and adapt. I think as well that sometimes some people are not very comfortable with disabilities, so that's why it's a little taboo, but I think it should not be this case. I mean, we should make people more comfortable on this and ask questions and propose the help. And it's always the same. We are always a little afraid by someone who is different. Mm-hmm. So we should not be, in my opinion. And the last point I wanted to underline is the question of promoting the career of people with a disability as an artist, or as to get a job in the creative or cultural industry. And I think by developing employment for people with any specific needs or any disabilities in the cultural sector as an artist, to have some real career, as an artist, can be a very good lever to make more inclusion, more accessibility within the industry of culture.
Paiva?
I would say that, I can speak about Latvia, that we have many people and organizations who are speaking about the cultural accessibility, and people with disabilities and experts with disabilities who would be glad if they would get many requests for dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the fear comes from not knowing or not coming to a dialogue, not coming to a speaking. And one more thing, it's better to make a mistake than not to do. So, because if you make mistake, and if there are people with disabilities who can say it's better than not to do anything. But I think, and I see Liba nodding, that we would be glad if we would get everyone from you coming to us and asking questions, right? So, and we are not afraid even to say what's wrong, but not with an aggressive way. At least I haven't heard Liba being aggressive with somebody.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think we have a lot to think after hearing what you had to say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aplaudēsim. Thank you.